imbatoss and Snovski, two grandmaster level Protoss players with bad blood already. The infamous imbatoss, apparently. And what a big map, Deadwing. Let's see where we go. Let's see how this plays out here. At least in that last game, the last matchup there with imbatoss, he did throw in a 4-gate. Not that I'm happy about 4 gates, it's just nice to be able to have those things in there. Alright, everybody's loaded up. Okay, let's get that name. Let's get that production. Though it's probably going to be almost identical for the first 5 minutes. Top right, Snovski. Bottom right, imbatoss. This is the matchup. This is the repeat from earlier today. And we'll see if that changes up how Snovski plays this. If you are totally convinced that your opponent is not playing legit, how do you beat that? And imbatoss, I think, is just having fun with this. Like, he's out there, he's having fun today, he's playing his best, and he's not favored in any. Maybe he's favored in play, but nobody's rooting for him, I don't think. Snovski, we've watched a lot of his games today with this super cool golf logo. See what he wants to change up here. In my mind, this is just me. In my mind, if I was going to be running up into something like this where I thought somebody was going to be doing something that wasn't too legit, I would try a strategy that's so bold, like hide a dark shrine, or something like that, and see if your opponent covers for it. The difficulty is that imbatoss, this entire day, has been playing standard, straightforward Starcraft. He's not been doing anything weird, he's been opening very safe, and then just playing good games after that. So even if you wanted to throw out some really wacky strategy just to make it hard on people, it's just not, it's not going to work out, I don't think. Pretty much mirror builds, just as I had mentioned. We're not going to see too much deviation for a little while. Just chrono boosting out those probes. And Snovski is heading out onto the map. Looks like he's going to be scouting in the right direction. Yep. So he will hit down there first. We'll see how he chooses to play this. Now, imbatoss has not gone for a scout at all. So I don't know how he's going to play this up here. He doesn't even know which direction his opponent is in. Cybernetic scores, pretty much equally timed. Worker-wise, Snovski is down 1 worker, and maybe that's just the cost of having 1 probot on the map. Or he missed 1 or something like that. Sees his opponent, sees the timing of everything. Couple of pokes, you feel good about that. This is where, like I said, you want to do something weird, like hide a pylon or something like that, just to see if he's going to notice. I like how the mothership core, when it comes out, it's got this giant beam of light coming out of it here, like it's something out of Lord of the Rings. Not too sure exactly why it needs to have that giant piece there. Yeah, in my mind, people are talking in the chat whether or not imbatoss is hacking. I've seen nothing to suggest that that would be the case to this point here. He has a Stargate going down slightly after his opponent. Let's see. We've also seen Snovski, the first time that these guys played, go for Phoenix. Now Snovski's going to go hide something here, and like I said, if he goes and hides something, maybe hide something, that sometimes tells me that we've got weirdness coming out, and if somebody can spot that and understand what it's going to be. Do you have Phoenixes on the way? Is it going to be Phoenix on Phoenix, or is he going to throw down an Oracle? It's an Oracle. Okay, now that should be enough evidence for most people that that's not hacking. That is a terrible, terrible thing to have and invest chrono boost and all that money. Did he throw down a pylon? quite understand. I don't know why the Mothership Core can't help in this situation. Oh, the Phoenix does spot the Oracle, and the Oracle can't do anything about it. So it's going to be a Phoenix on Phoenix fight here. We've got Phoenixes coming out from both players. The problem is imbatoss is already like 2 Phoenixes behind. So it's going to be very tough for him to get a lead in doing this. Second gateway going down, and he's starting to get out an observer, just in case he's going to go up against something weird. What he'd love to do is pick up that Mothership Core. That would be a juicy, juicy, juicy hit. Just the 4 Phoenixes. Both these players have stopped making Phoenixes for a moment here. Did he? Did I just kill the Mothership Core? I think he picked up a probe actually there. I wasn't too sure what he just killed. Kind of surprised we haven't seen a Twilight go down. Blink is usually a good way of dealing with Phoenixes, and that's how imbatoss essentially won the first game between these two players. It's interesting that he has stopped at 4 Phoenixes. Gets 1 probe and gets out of there. Nexuses are about the same time, slightly ahead for imbatoss, but not going to be too big of a deal. Behind this, he's got his Immortals coming out, 2 Stargates, opponent exactly the same kind of build, but actually has a lot of Stalkers. You can't afford to not have them there because they'll just do way too much damage. Observer sees everything going on, which he would not need if he had vision of everything. Second Observer coming out. Forge going down for imbatoss as well. Wants to get a nice lead on those upgrades. Lose a little bit of shields there, but Phoenixes are actually fairly robust for essentially being paper planes. Forge started over here as well. Wouldn't mind him getting these Phoenixes over just to scout everything, but that Photon Overcharge is enough to scare things away. I'd almost eat a Photon Overcharge to kill the Mothership Core. In my mind, that's worth it. Phoenixes are not cheap necessarily, but the Mothership Core is very expensive. And it's something you always want to have out, whereas these Phoenixes... And Snovski might be getting really pissed off by this. Like, why do these Stalkers always see where my Phoenixes are? It's because there's an Observer right in front of the base here. It's 2 or 3 probes there, loses 1 of his Phoenixes. And he's actually getting an Oracle. This is really clever. I don't think that imbatoss is really predicting that this will come out. And if you sneak it in there, you can get so much damage done potentially. Still no blink or anything like that. These Phoenixes are kind of free to just roam around. Twilight for both players is going down. But if we look at the actual units wise, Snovski's only carved out about a 3 probe lead for all the harassment he's been doing. Pretty similar in supplies, pretty similar in tech. Something like this Oracle though, always has the possibility of doing damage. Hopefully he doesn't just throw it away though. That's what I always worry about with people with these Oracles, are just sacking them into a bunch of units. Keep it alive. It's always valuable to have alive. He could pick up all 3 of these Stalkers actually. How sexy would that be? Well, how's that? How effective was that? He's up now by 10 workers. I think that was actually very, very effective. Lots of Immortals out. He's up to 4. His opponent's on 3. He might feel like he has to push out and do damage now. This is just annoying as hell. Now, if you see this, if you're doing this as a Protoss player and he's not doing anything, like he's not actually putting in any attacks, he's not defending against these Phoenixes, you know the push is coming, right? He's not going to just sit there and take punches to the face over and over again if he doesn't have to. Like, he's obviously moved out with his entire army to go do damage. Couple of cannons, a little late though. I probably would cancel those and turn those into more units. supply blocked actually with that. That might let these cannons finish up here. Another Oracle's in the base. Not microing the Oracle perfectly here. This is just, that's so much damage. We actually have a Colossus out, which I'm surprised because it won't have range yet. He needs to get the Archon in the front to knock down the force fields. Pretty good time warp there. Probes are coming out, and I don't know if they need to, but if he does survive this, he just wins. Snovski's got by a ton of supply right now. Couple of cannons here, you know, just a little bit of extra heat. One Immortal's pretty weak here at the front. And he leaves the game no GG.